Welcome into the Lakers Report. Jake Chipper here with you today. And on today's show, we have some breaking news. The Lakers making a draft trade, moving up in the second round of the draft after not making a selection last night. Plus, the latest reports on Austin Reaves and Dorian Finney-Smith and their potential free agency discussions. Before we get into all of that, guys, this is why you subscribe to the channel. Anytime the Lakers make a move like this trade here today, we got you covered with a video. All the latest Lakers news, rumors, and more. It's a very busy time of the year. You want to stay updated with the Los Angeles Lakers. You can do that right here at the Lakers Report. So be sure to subscribe. Here are those trade details coming in from Shams Charania. The Lakers moving up in the second round of the NBA draft tonight, acquiring the number 45 pick from the Chicago Bulls in exchange for number 55 and cash, according to ESPN. Everyone's favorite trade asset in the NBA, cash consideration. So all it took was a few bucks from the Lakers sending to the Bulls to move up 10 spots in the second round of the draft. Now, obviously, still a few hours away from the draft. So what is the Lakers' plan here by moving up 10 spots? You think they have a certain target, or at least a few targets in mind that they don't think are going to be there at 55 that they could get at 45. And look, it's been no secret this offseason. The Lakers are trying to get a center in there. They need another big body in that rotation. And there's been a couple centers that have fallen to this second round that could have gone at the end of round one. Now, guys like Ryan Kalkbrenner, Maxime Reynaud, probably not going to be there at 45. So you're looking a little farther down the board. Someone like a Janai Broom, a Vladislav Golden, Rocco Zakarski is a name that has been linked to the Lakers a little bit so far here today. So I would be surprised if they do not go big here in this situation. Now, look, if one of Kalkbrenner or Reynaud is there, Lakers got to run that pick up to the podium. Kalkbrenner is a 4-time Defensive Player of the Year in the Big East. He's going to get it done for you on that end of the floor and has some skills offensively. You dump it down to him in the post, he's going to be able to finish. Again, that defense, though, his absolute calling card. The Lakers could really, really use that at that 5 spot. Now, a little bit slower, so can struggle to defender quicker players. Also has some shooting upside, though. We'll see if that does translate to the NBA or not. I'm personally a little skeptical that that three-point shot will translate, but he doesn't need it to translate, again, because he is so dominant on the interior, and he is able to really hold it down on the defensive end of the floor. You know, you think about who the Lakers have had running at that center spot. Haven't really had somebody, I think, at this level, especially this past season, that can help defend the rim and be a little bit more low maintenance on the offensive end. And then for Maxime Reynaud, another guy who, if he's there, you have to absolutely take him. Somebody who's a little bit different from Kalkbrenner in terms of his skill set. Reynaud's a little more dynamic offensively. He can really stretch the floor as a big man. He moves very well for his size. Also, though, an effective paint defender and a good rim protector, but not great. A little bit better of a vertical athlete, but not so much a super big body that's going to really protect the rim. Definitely still has to develop in the post. So a little bit different from someone like Kalkbrenner, but has a intriguing offensive skill set. Someone that can even handle the ball a little bit. A walking 20-10 in the ACC at Stanford. Probably would have been ACC Player of the Year if Cooper Flagg did not exist. And then Rocco Zakarski, again, a name, according to Brett Siegel, I saw earlier today, linking him to the Lakers, a little bit of interest there. Again, this is your really typical traditional center prospect. Going to finish around the rim, going to own the boards, and a solid rim protector given his size. Zakarski, a very, very big center, standing at 7'3" without shoes, 257 pounds. Thing with him, though, just hasn't played a lot of basketball. You know, you take a look at his numbers this past season, playing over in Australia, 12 minutes a game, 4.7 points, 3.5 rebounds. So you're kind of drafting him based on the fact that he's huge and he's a solid athlete, young with some upside, but really just has not seen a lot of basketball. 11 turnovers compared to 6 assists in this past season. So definitely has to do some developing, but this is more of a long-term project as opposed to someone like Reynaud or Kalkbrenner who could step in right away. But those are a few of the names I'd be looking at big man for the Lakers with this trade up to number 45. But you let me know. Is it going to be one of these centers I mentioned, maybe someone else that we showed you, or totally different position as a whole? Predict it for me. Who will the Lakers draft at number 45. Show me that you know ball and get down in the comments section. Before we get to the latest on Austin Reaves and Dorian Finney-Smith, of course, the NBA draft in full swing. Round 2 happening tonight. And if you want to get your hands on your favorite team's NBA draft hat, whether it be, of course, the Los Angeles Lakers or another squad out there, you can right now at chatsports.com/2025 draft hats. These are the hats that the prospects wore. Every single one that got drafted last night went up on stage, put that draft hat on, and shook Adam Silver's hands. You can get your very own again right now at chatsports.com/2025 draft hats. There's also a couple of different styles and colors as well for each team. That link will be in the comments section and description of today's show. So let's get to the latest on Austin Reaves. And look, when Lakers fans, you look at this, you might be a little concerned at first, but I'll tell you why you really shouldn't raise any alarms with this Austin Reaves news. Reaves declined a 4-year, $90 million max contract extension with the Lakers earlier this week. Now, of course, never what you want to hear that Reaves is declining this max extension. You might be thinking, why in the world would Austin Reaves decline a max from the Lakers? Does he want to leave? Is he not happy in LA? Look, he's certainly deserving of a max deal from the Lakers, given the way he's been playing over the past couple of years, obviously coming up until this past season, averaging over 20 points a game. He's a guy the Lakers want to keep, and no reason for Reaves to want to leave LA either. So what reason does he have to decline this max deal? Well, it's because he can simply just get more money if he signs an extension next season as opposed to right now. ESPN's Bobby Marks breaking it down that the Lakers extension offer to Reaves this offseason tops out at 4 years, $89 million, first-year salary of $20 million. That is the deal he has reportedly declined. But if he bypasses that, which he's going to become a free agent in 2026, he'd be eligible for a starting salary up to roughly $42.5 million on a 5-year, $246 million max deal from the Lakers, or a 4-year, $182 million max deal from any other team. So for Austin Reaves, nothing personal here with the Lakers. He's not saying, I don't want to be back in LA for sure. It just makes the most sense for him. Obviously, you can cash in on that big bag next offseason. If he waits, if the Lakers, it makes sense they at least threw him this offer now. You might as well try to see if you can get him on the cheap on that deal right now. Obviously, he said no. They probably expected him to say no, but, bad business to not at least try just in case. Now, does Austin Reaves, is he a player deserving of $45 million a year? It's kind of just the direction the NBA is going in now. If you want to keep your good players, you got to pay them. So that's a discussion for next season if you're giving him that money. But again, him declining this max deal now, no cause for concern. Don't need to raise any alarms. I do imagine Austin Reaves will want to re-sign the Lakers next year on a max that will pay him some more money. Now to a player in Dorian Finney-Smith, who I'm not as confident saying that he will be sticking around here in LA. According to reports, considering declining his player option with the Lakers and entering unrestricted free agency. Now, his player option was for about $15 million heading into next year. And just a little head scratching for me that he would decide to decline that option because there's not a whole lot of money out there in the NBA, right? And look, Dorian Finney-Smith is a good player. You're a very typical 3-and-D guy. He's obviously boys with Luka, so you would imagine he wants to stay in LA and play with Luka in a winning situation, right? A guy that shot 41% from three. It's really what you're asking him to do, right? Knock down your open corner threes and play tough physical defense. A player that, any team who's contending in the postseason would love to have on their roster. But at $15 million, the fact that he's considering declining the player option tells me he thinks he can make more money on the open market. And I'm sorry, DFS, maybe you know something we don't. I don't personally see how you're going to get more than that in the open market because so many NBA teams with the new apron rules and all this just don't have money to spend, especially not money that's more than the current mid-level exception. Mid-level exception right now about $14 million. Again, DFS declined a $15 million player option. Now, maybe he's looking for more long-term security, and I can't really fault that if he wants a multi-year deal, somewhere where he has that long-term financial security. But if he does decline that option, goes out in the open market, I don't see a team giving him more than the mid-level exception, which is less than what he'd be making if he did pick up that player option. Look, I would hope he remains with the Lakers. I think a good fit on that roster, and obviously he knows Luka very well, and these 3-and-D players are very valuable. He's not officially declined the player option. He's just sort of thinking about it at this moment. Maybe there's a team out there, though, who he's kind of been talking to, even though you're not supposed to yet, that said they're maybe willing to give him a little bit of a bag. I would be surprised if that is the case, so we'll monitor the situation with Dorian Finney-Smith, but a possibility he does not return to the Lakers as we head into next season. Again, I'd be surprised, though, if a team did end up throwing him a pretty decent bag, considering how limited a lot of teams are with their money this offseason. All right, that'll do it for today's Lakers report. Again, guys, this is why you subscribe to the channel. There's always plenty of news and rumors flying around in this time of the offseason. And if you want to stay up to date on everything Lakers, got to be sure, hit that sub button and turn on those notifications.